Welcome back. We are here, and I say this every time that I get more and more and more excited about the guest, but truth be told is that today's guest is, as we'd say, mamash, like really, like I asked this person, and I'll get to who this person is very soon, but I asked this person if he would come and grace us with his incredible story, his wisdom, his experience. And when you said yes, I was like, oh my gosh, I felt so honored. So without further ado, I'm here with Lenny Narofshin, who is the CEO, the visionary, the man when it comes to don't worry, we're not supposed to eulogize in Judaism, but I would say the premier restaurant, maybe on the West Coast. We'll definitely say for sure in the Pico Robertson community of our kosher world, of Lenny's Casita. I have the Lenny himself is here, and I just want to say thank you so much, Lenny, for being here and joining us on Show and Teller. And
I should be thanking you, because there's nothing that's more appealing to me than sitting in front of a microphone talking for the next 45 minutes. It's like great. And the fact that this show is about me, like that you want to interview me, like this
I want to interview you. I want to hear your story. I want to know.
I love talking about my story.
Okay, well, good. So that without further ado, Lenny Narofshin, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Tell us about your family. Tell us about your upbringing.
Sure. I was born in LA. My mom is from Italy. My dad's Persian. So we had a lot of good food growing up. Traditional upbringing, nothing.
Mom cooked.
My grandmother, Nuni, she was like our, she was like the most incredible.
Is your mom's mom?
My mom's mom.
So
yeah.
Italian
grandmothers. Nothing better than having the Italian grandmother to feed you.
Now, I would ask this at a Shabbat table, and I would say, what was your favorite childhood cuisine growing up that a family member cooked?
There's a few.
Okay, so you can give me top three.
Okay, top three. We talk about Friday night. That was already with the Persian family. Every Friday night, the Persian family got together, 50 cousins.
Gorma sabzi.
Gorma sabzi is great. I'm not knocking gorma sabzi.
Okay.
But the most quintessential Jewish Persian food, and this is something that's specific to the Jewish people, is gondi.
Explain for the viewership who
sure,
might not know.
With pleasure.
Please.
Gondi is a Persian matzo ball, I like to call it, because it's eaten with chicken soup. It's a meatball made from chickpea flour and onions, a ton of onions, and then made into these amazing balls, and then put into this awesome Persian chicken soup called chalab gusht. You eat it with rice and dried lemon powder. And it is the most, if you talk about comfort food, my wife knows. My wife's not Persian, but if she
does she cook it?
She cooks everything. She's amazing.
She's figured it out.
She's got it all. My dad is still to this day shocked every time he comes over to our house.
He's like, your wife who's not Persian made this?
She's amazing. So, but she knows when I'm like down or sick or anything, she just goes for it. Boom, boom, boom. Chicken soup.
This is your Jewish penicillin,
This is my Jewish penicillin. And it's like, something happens to me emotionally, I think. When I eat it, like it brings me back to this like childhood state of comfort and peace and Shabbos that I can't describe into words. So yeah, that's by far, like, if we're talking about...
Do you have it every Friday night?
No, I haven't had it. It's a specialty item at this point.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's your mic drop moment. You have to like have it when you're,
it's only in a special scenario. Also, it's more of a wintertime food,
Okay.
Gondi is very adaptable. You can have gondi in a soup. You can have gondi by itself. They make little like Persian tacos where they take flatbread lavash. They take the gondi and then you put some like green herbs, fresh herbs in it, and you go to town. Amazing also. But we're not like a traditional Persian family because, the background. So we have like my mom who's Italian, and we spent our summers a lot in Italy.
Where in Italy?
Livorno. It's right next to Tuscany, on the Tuscan coast.
Okay.
Livorno has a rich Jewish history. There's the Chida was chief rabbi of Livorno. Tons of Sephardic Jews moved there from Spain after the Inquisition. And there was this, Italy was divided into different kingdoms. Livorno had freedom of trade, freedom of religion. It was called La Livornina, it was called. And so Jews fled there. And in fact, they had a really cool language that was a Jewish Italian language called Bagito, which was a combination of like Portuguese,
kind of like how we
Ladino.
look at like Ladino.
It's a form.
Yiddish. I mean,
it's a variation of Ladino,
Uh-huh.
but incorporated with Italian stuff, and you have like remnants of that today in Livorno's culture. It's amazing.
Wow. How many languages do you speak?
I speak 5 languages terribly, because each language, people ask me, where are you from?
I mean, English, you're doing all right.
English,
so
I'm okay, but
Yes.
for some reason, people still ask me, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from?
So you speak a little Farsi.
I speak Farsi. I speak
Italian.
Hebrew pretty well. Spanish now is like number one.
Yes, I imagine.
Spanish is like perfect, and English.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yiddish is, a few words here and there.
Okay, so did you grow up with religious culture or Jewish culture, or did you?
It's hard to say. I mean, growing up, I would say that we're very Jewish. Yeah, we had a strong Jewish identity.
Did you go to a Jewish schools?
We went to Jewish schools. When I was really young, we were like just Sunday school, that kind of thing, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, Pesach. But then at 8 years old, my brother came back from a trip to Ibiza. He was 14 years old.
Where are you in the pecking order?
I'm the youngest.
You have a couple.
I have 2 older brothers.
Okay.
So he came back. We were in Monte Carlo. We spent our summer. My dad would pick us up from Livorno, drive us down to Monte Carlo, spend the summer in the south of France. And my brother went on a trip to Ibiza with his cousins, who were more traditional, more keeping kosher and stuff. And I still remember this. He came. I was 8 years old. He came back from his trip, took me and my other brother out to the balcony. He said, "Guys, from now on, we're religious Jews." I said, "What do you mean?"
No questions asked.
He says, "Yeah, that's it. We're going to keep kosher. We're going to keep Shabbat." And he said the 2 things that he knew Ba'al Peh, by heart, which was Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz. And that was our introduction as 8 years old to religious Judaism.
And from that moment on, you really just started like.
So I had my other brother, my middle brother Lorenzo. He went full force. Like with both my brothers, really took everything on. We started going to. My mom moved us into Maimonides at the time.
A school in
LA.
In LA, right?
And,
elementary school.
Yeah.
Middle school.
And I was a little more rebellious. So I would say I was good Stark for like 2 years. At 10 years old, I'm like, wait, so that means I can't eat like shrimps anymore? I can't eat, all this amazing food out there?
No more shrimp scampi.
Yeah, well, think again.
Yes.
Because at 10 years old,
You're like,
I was like, no, I'm not giving up that. Okay, I need to enjoy the world's, what the world has to offer in terms of food, which is exactly what I did for about 8 years. I think I was going back and forth between, cheating on my kashrut. And thank God I did, because it allowed me to really experience how good food is supposed to taste.
so let me ask you, Nate, you just sparked an incredible thought.
Yeah.
Is that, there's a lot of times that you go to a child and you say, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? And people will say, oh, doctor, lawyer, actor, next Kobe Bryant. At what age? I mean, if we asked you that as an 8-year-old, or we asked you that as a 12-year-old, we asked you that as a 15-year-old, what was your progression? Were you always saying?
Constantly. If I'm from 3 years old, my grandmother, she told me that I would bother her every day. What's for dinner? What's for dinner? And she would get so annoyed. She said, just come see for yourself. And she would put me on a chair next to her. And I remember at 3 years old, stirring polenta next to her, cooking in the kitchen from 3 years old. I was always a foodie. I was obsessed with food. I understood, like I'm sure many musicians or artists felt a certain extra sense, a sixth sense when it came to their art, right?
So you were already cooking hardcore at what age?
Hardcore. I was cooking casually, for the family since I was...
Scrambled eggs in the morning.
Yeah, I remember we spent one summer in Italy, and I remember the first time, in Italy the custom is that every day the parents send the kids to the beach. And they have these amazing private beaches where you have diving boards and arcades and all this awesome stuff. And one day, after doing it for 20 times in a row, we got sick of it. So me and my brother kind of veered off the beaten track, and we were like, wait, where are we going to eat? I'm like, I think I know how to make pasta. I was 12 years old. I'm like, I think I know how to make pasta. I've seen...
pasta is in rolling pasta, or we're talking about pasta in the bag?
You have to understand, for Italians, pasta is It's like it's the equivalent of like sushi for Japanese. It's an art. It's a skill. It's not.
Yeah, we're not talking about opening up some bag and pouring it into the water. That's not making pasta.
There's like certain rules and traditions that you have to follow.
Okay.
And so it's like a rite of passage, like when the kid can finally make pasta. Now, I didn't get permission from my grandmother to do it, but I do remember that day sneaking back into the house. My grandmother was out shopping or whatever she was doing, and I made pasta. And I thought it was pretty good. But then my grandmother walks in, and she was this very strong Italian lady, and she walked in and she says, "What are you guys doing here?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry, Lenny, we didn't want to go to the beach today, and we tried to." And she's like, "You cooked without me?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry." She didn't let us enter to do our own thing. She always wanted to be supervising. And I remember her giving us some punishment and then going to the kitchen, taking a bite of the pasta, and turning around and going, "It's good." Oh. I was like, "Yes,
rite of passage.
I'm in." And yeah, so along the way, I mean, there was like, it was obvious. It was obvious that
you had the feeling.
I had the feeling, and I loved it deeply. And even at 16, 17, I was not a good student.
Where did you go to high school?
I went all around. I bounced around a lot.
Fine.
So from Maimonides, Shalhevet, then my mom sent me to Israel because she's like, "I'm not paying for Jewish school if you're going to be just playing around all day." And so she sent me to Israel. I went to Israel for a little bit. I came back, went to Natanelli. Shout out to Natanelli, rest in peace. And then went to Beverly. Beverly was like just
free for all,
and it was not fun. It felt like the equivalent of like someone putting me in prison because attendance and this. Whereas in Jewish school, the rabbis were always like, "Lenny's a good kid, he's gonna be okay. He just needs to focus more. He just needs to be less of a class clown." But public school, there's no forgiveness, right?
No.
So when I left public school, that was like I kind of basically I dropped out. I was a high school dropout. I didn't know what to do. My mom's like, lack of a better idea.
High school dropout. And said, "Okay, I'm going to go work."
No, my mom actually sent me to Israel because that was like the solution to everything. Go to Israel. I went to Israel, and when I was there, I remember calling her at 17. And I called her. I said, "Mom, I figured out what I want to do with my life." She's like, "Really? What?" Like, "I want to be a chef." And she said, "Hell no." She's like, "No way." She's like, "You are going to go to school. She's this high-powered lawyer. She was like CEO of the Mark Gordon company. She did like TV production and all these amazing things. And she was like, someone I looked up to. So I listened to her. I was like, okay. So she's like, "You're going to go to school. You're going to go, finish your bachelor's. And then after all that, if you still want to be a chef, then okay." But so I said, okay. And I came back, went to SMC, got my act together, went to GW in DC, which was awesome.
Wow.
Best experience of my life. Graduated magna cum laude.
Look at you, Lenny.
Yeah, it was an amazing time. We opened up Chabad on campus while I was there.
So wait, what was your major?
International relations.
And would you say that your bachelor degree in international relations has helped you at any point in time with what you are doing currently right now?
0.
Okay.
In fact, it's just funny because like my mom went into like this.
But at least your mom can say he graduated from GW.
Right, I think that's what she wanted.
Lenny of Lenny's Casita, he graduated from GW. Forget the fact.
Right. Yeah, she hates when I say I'm a high school dropout. By the way, she'll be watching this. She's like, "It's not a high school dropout. You graduated magna cum laude." I'm like, "Mom, you're a Jewish mom. I get it. You want not tell your friends that your son is a high school dropout, but the reality is like, Baruch Hashem, the ending, worked out.
Thank God.
And so then after college, I was confused and running around and thinking that I had to go into all these white collar type jobs, but nothing I did was working. Nothing.
So you're 20 at this point.
I'm like 21 when I graduated. Mm-hmm. And I tried it out in New York, and I tried it out I moved to Israel again. I went to the army at that point. I went to the army because I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get some experience before grad school. It'll be a cool essay, that I went and served in the IDF. Now it would be like totally unpopular, but like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then when I finally came back, I went into real estate, and for some reason, nothing I was doing was working. No job was like successful.
You were doing residential. You're doing commercial.
I was started in residential, then I moved to commercial, and
you're looking to make a big deal.
Yeah, we're trying to be like a good Persian Jewish boy and going to real estate. It's like that's like the obvious thing, right? And then I remember, because I was working at Marcus & Millichap, very serious brokerage.
For sure.
And I remember the day, I was already married and Leah was pregnant with our first. And the regional manager, Tony Solomon, who I put tefillin on when I was in the office, he called me into his office. He's like, listen, we love you. It's like, you're a great energy here. Like, everybody has a great time with you. Like, I used to, bring out like Hanukkah candles and like be a little like Chabad Shliach on that campus. And he said, but you're not doing what you love here. And it's obvious. He's told me this. And in credit to Tony Solomon, he said, nothing would make us happier than you going off, doing what you love, being successful at it, and coming back and telling us the story. And it hit me like a ton of bricks right there. I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. I know exactly what I want to do. I left. I was fired.
That was a very easy way of letting you go.
Great.
I mean, that was a very graceful way.
He's a true salesman, It's like,
oh my gosh.
But he really lit a fire, and I started.
You
cooking.
thanked him for firing you.
Like big time, huge. It saved my life. I even say today, even if I was as successful, the equivalent in the real estate world, there's no way I would be as happy as I am now.
Because you're doing what you love.
I'm doing what I love.
Your neshama is alive.
Exactly. So anyway, then I started cooking from my house, and like I was catering office building. Actually, I was at next door on Monday night. We have sushi night next door. Amazing sushi.
Yeah.
And I was sitting next to this guy, and when we go to kosher restaurants, it's like my wife like hates going to kosher restaurants for this specific reason. It's because she wants a date night with me, and like everyone's like Lenny. So this guy did it, and I said, listen, I love you. I'm happy to speak to you, but I gotta,
Here.
I gotta see about a girl.
Yes.
And he says, okay, that's fine, but don't forget where this started. I said, oh my gosh. And I realized his office, he was the guy who gave me my first gig because I was catering from my house to offices around LA.
What year was this?
This was 2017.
Okay, so relatively you've been then from 2017 till now in 2025, this has only been 8 years, more or less.
Wow, less than 10 years, you're right.
Whew.
Less than 10 years.
So you started catering. This was your first gig. You started doing catering to offices. And then you got another client. So give me the progression.
So we were, again, I had no formal experience. I had no like formal training.
Was this at this point was this just a business at this point?
It was something that I wanted to make a business, but in all honesty, it wasn't like I wasn't able to sustain like a family on this income.
Correct.
But forget about that. It also, I felt like I wasn't giving it my best shot because I wasn't formally trained. And I knew that I needed to understand better the business,
The business of being a chef.
Of restaurants, catering, the whole deal, I had a talent with no proper training. So culinary school was like a thought, but I'm like, no, it's too late for that. Like, I'm not going to go to culinary school. I need to just work. So I said, if I'm going to get a job at a restaurant, I tried going to a non-kosher restaurant. The first day, I had like a little stage where you go in there and they train you, or they see how you work, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, try this." And I'm like, "I can't." They're like, "What do you mean you can't?" I'm like, well, "I'm kosher." They're like, "I know you're kosher. This doesn't have meat." I'm like, "No, but like you don't get. Like, I can't eat anything."
Right. I
can't. Like it's not gonna work. So they kicked me out. So I'm like, if I'm gonna get proper training, there's one place in the world that I can properly get the training for kosher food, and that's in New York. So I packed my bags with
your wife?
With my wife and my daughter, and she was pregnant with the second one. And we moved to New York.
How old's your oldest now?
Now she's just turned 9. She
right
just
on.
turned 9. And so we moved to New York, and it was rough living conditions. We had no money. I got a job first at Allenby in Crown Heights, which was this like Tel Aviv style modern restaurant. Chef Elior Balbul, amazing. I learned a ton from him. From there,
and they took a chance on you.
They took a total chance on me. But it's also very rare for me. Now I know how rare it is to find a young Jewish passionate guy who wants to work in the kitchen, because it's so there's so many benefits to having that, right? Because you have someone who understands the community, who is super passionate about it, wants to grow, versus just a regular line cook who wants to come in and fulfill his hours and go home, right? So
like you were learning a trade.
I was learning a trade. And so I worked at some of the best restaurants in New York. I worked at Allenby. I worked at Mike's Bistro in Manhattan. And I worked at Doma in Cedarhurst. And after that year, it's actually a cool story. We were living in Crown Heights. And I went to this Empire Stiebel, which was across the street from me where they had like minyanim, daily minyanim. And everybody looked at me like, who is this Sephardi kid coming in like with jeans, davening from a Sephardi siddur? Like, nobody gave me the time of day. These are like old school, like I think Yiddish was the most spoken language in this place, okay?
Doesn't surprise me.
Which I loved, you know, I loved being around them, but like it didn't feel very warm and inviting except for one guy from Argentina, Chassid from Argentina, really warm, really sweet, and would always ask me about how I'm doing, what I'm doing, and I would tell him I'm working here, I'm working there. One day I hope to open my own business, and he said, if you're gonna open your own business, you need $1 from the Rebbe. Did you ever get $1 from the Rebbe? I said, no. He says, I'm gonna give you $1 from the Rebbe. And I was like, shocked. I'm like, are you serious?
So for those who don't know, the Rebbe, Rav Menachem Mendel Schneerson, who was basically the head rabbi of Chabad, people would go to him and he would give a dollar. It's kind of like a blessing. Not that we're superstitious or anything like that, but this dollar signified a little bit of fortuitous things that might come in the future.
Nice. Well, a nice way to explain it. So I come back one day, and sure enough, he brings me $1 from the Rebbe. Gives me the dollar, and on the dollar they have written the date that they received the dollar. And the date that was written was Kaf Chet Av, Koach Av. And that was like months away. I was trying to figure out the significance of the day. It's coming up. And I didn't know quite the significance, but you know, it definitely stuck in my mind. Koach Av, Koach Av. Months go by. I go back to LA. We were miserable in New York, mind you. Like, we hated it. Like, my wife hated it.
Even though you learned a lot.
I had to do it. It was
right.
like a challenging time that I had to do, but we weren't happy. Came back to LA. We would come back to LA all the time. My daughter's birthday, we came back for her birthday. I was doing a barbecue just like I always do for friends and family. One guy comes up to me and says, you know, you're so talented. I want to introduce you to my cousin. He's opening a restaurant here. And I was like, which restaurant? He's like, Charcoal. I'm like, oh, I heard about them because he's the brother of the guy I worked for in New York. He's the brother of Allenby. And I heard that they were planning on opening this place. And it sounded so cool because they were using live charcoal and open fire. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Why do you want to introduce me? He's like, they don't have a chef. The chef backed out. They need someone. And they want to open like ASAP. I'm like, okay, I'll meet with him. Meet with him. He's like, listen, I look at this beautiful restaurant, built out, permitted, ready to go. I wanted to open my own business in New York, but he's like, listen, I'll give you a salary, I'll give you, you know, equity, I'll give you whatever you need. Like, he took a chance on me, which was so cool of him. And I was like, what's the catch? He's like, we got to open in 2 weeks. I'm like, do you have any staff, any menu, anything? He's like, nothing. So within 2 weeks, this is unheard of. This is like miracle on miracles. Like,
came up with a
menu, my own menu, hiring staff, and opening within 2 weeks. I was not sleeping the entire 2 weeks. Opening night was crazy. I was till like 2 a.m. the night before. I was sleeping at my mom's house in Marina del Rey, driving there on opening night at 6 a.m. As I'm driving, I'm thinking about this dollar. All of a sudden it came to my head. I'm like, what was the date on that dollar again? Koach Av. I looked on my phone. I didn't know what day it was, even in the English calendar. Forget about the Hebrew one. And I opened my phone and I look at the date. And that night, opening night of Charcoal, was Koach Av.
Do you understand that?
I do.
I mean, we talk about this idea. It's called hashgacha pratit or hashgacha pratis. Is that there's a divine hand in everything. The question is, it's happening around us all the time. The question is, how aware are we when Hashem is talking 100%. To you? In the fact that this again, we're not superstitious, but we have a tendency that God is talking to us. And in this case, God was talking to you through the Rebbe in this dollar, which happens to be fortuitous. Good things will come. And you happen to be, through Hashgacha Pratis, that God enabled you to start this working as the head chef at Charcoal on
the same
Koach Av.
Yeah. And for anybody who knows, not only was it the beginning of my career in terms of, you know, LA, that's where I got my name out and people got to know me, and people till today come, hey, I remember I used to sit at, they had 2 seats that were like, the restaurant was designed in a weird way where there was these they just stuffed 2 seats in, which was really like the worst seats in the house, according to most guests, because they were facing the kitchen. There was no like bar vibe. It was just like literally like just facing the kitchen. And so I told them, I was like, guys, let's rebrand this a little bit. Instead of, these terrible chairs that nobody wants to sit in, let's call this the chef's table. Because I'm right there. I can take care of them. And if you run out of space, just tell them, oh, we have chef's table available tonight. And so throughout the years, people would come for chef's table, and I would give them like, all these little snacks and all the explanation on the dishes. And they had like a one-on-one connection with me. And anyone who took chef's table was always requesting it when they would come back. Until today, they come to me like, we used to sit and come to chef's table with you at Charcoal.
Amazing.
So it was the beginning of my career, but also, more amazingly, was that my staff from that opening team stayed with me even after COVID, even after we opened Lenny's Casita. Till today, the guy making the steak at Lenny's Casita is the same guy who used to make the steak, who taught me how to properly cook a steak, because he used to work at Mastro's for 20 years before he came to Charcoal. So we have literally like...
So you had a guy who worked at a top-notch, non-kosher restaurant, Mastro's, knew how to make a steak, and he's your top guy.
He's my top guy, and this is what I always like to tell people, because I get so much credit, I get so much honor for this amazing food, and I'm like, stop giving me the credit. It's not me. First of all, it's Hashem. First of all, I would never have done any of this if God didn't put me exactly where I needed to be in that moment, number one. And every success that I have is due to him, number one. Number two, the guys that are making, these are the guys that taught me how to cook. The whole purpose why we did Mexican food, why did this concept come from? We were at Charcoal, doing our thing, making amazing food. And we would do family meal. Family meal in the kitchen is when the staff, make their own food. And these guys were taking great kosher ingredients, steaks and short ribs and all these things, and making like the most incredible tacos, like just out of control salsas and all this amazing thing. And it hit me as I was eating with them. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, why is every restaurant in this city, in the world, in LA, in America, which is dominated with Mexican cooks, teaching them to make sushi, Italian food, or hummus, when they can be doing what they do best? Like, it was so obvious, And so it hit me. I'm like, okay, we got to do kosher Mexican. Like, that's the concept. Like, that's what we're doing. At Charcoal. Back at Charcoal.
And then you just said, okay, pick up and I'm leaving. So there's probably some politics around, but
so there was definitely politics around, but again, Hashem was along the way
and talking to you,
directing me, talking to me, because when we had the idea, I had already like a basic menu outlined, and when things weren't working out with the new partners came in and balagan, I was like already on my way out. I told them Pesach is a good time because we're closed for 7 days. It's a nice way for you guys to transition. I'll give you guys a month to figure out someone to take over while I go and do this concept. All my staff already told me like we're coming with you. Like, you just let me know when it's opening and we're coming. Purim, COVID hits, right after Purim.
March. So this is March
15th.
20. Yeah, March 15th, 2020.
Sunday after Purim. Restaurants already closed in New York. We were next. All the restaurants closed. So I go into work and I'm like, what are we doing, guys? What do you need? And the owners were like, listen, we know that you're planning on leaving. Honestly, right now, I'm scared for being able to pay anybody. You're the highest earner. Do you mind just leaving a little early? I was like, I'm happy to. Like, I've been waiting for some time off. But please take care of my staff because, they said, no, we can't afford it. We can't afford it. I said, what do you mean you can't afford it? You need some staff. You need some to go. They're like, just give us one guy. I'm like, I'd much rather you guys take 4 guys and give them part-time shifts so everybody has a little bit of, No, we just need one guy. So they laid off all my guys in one moment. I told them all, I was like, guys, I know this is going to be crazy. A lot of them didn't know what to do. Some of them went back to Mexico. But I was like, I promise you, I'll figure something out that we can all come out of this like, okay. For a month or 2, I was like, just family time. Because I had a daughter that was born in New York that I was working 14-hour days. The only time I saw her on Shabbat, she would look at me like, who is this guy? Like, who are you? And what are you doing with my mom? And
this is your Abba.
Yeah, no, straight up. And my wife's best friend, Shirelle, it says she was her stepfather because like I was not home. Finally, I had time to spend with them. I got to know them. We became friends again. And then I get a call from David Kagan, Western Kosher, who was my meat distributor and a great friend and always wanted to do something with me. He called me and said, "What's your plan?" I said, "I don't know because I have this great concept, but I don't want to take a rent right now because there's no dine-in. What am I supposed to do?" And he's like, "Listen, my kitchen is a great kitchen. At 4 o'clock every day, my staff goes home. They're done prepping. The kitchen's open after 4 p.m. You want to do something here?" I was like, yes, I do. So then I created a Postmates account, an Uber Eats account, called Lenny's Casita, put the address of Western Kosher, and Google was like, "Isn't this Western Kosher?" I'm like, "No, it's in the back, it's a different space." May 11th, it was Lag BaOmer 2020, it was May 11th. I wanted to open on Cinco de Mayo, but it didn't work out. I had to do it a week later. It was try.
Lag BaOmer, it's fine.
Lag BaOmer.
Yeah.
We opened our first night as a ghost kitchen, the first kosher ghost kitchen in LA. And it ever. I hired all my guys back.
You had enough money at that point to hire them?
We didn't have money, but we had a dream.
You had a dream.
And whatever, I got some money from the government and whatever it was, we figured it out.
The whole PPPs and everything like that.
Yeah. We opened and it was just out of control.
Without that much marketing, it just, and they hadn't heard of a kosher Mexican restaurant. It wasn't there. So it's like, okay, people probably just, and it's COVID and people are just like, we need to eat. We're hungry. Here's a kitchen. You pick it up, go back home. So
yeah,
it popped.
I didn't know how it was going to go. I did not know how it was going to go. And it just went nuts. People were dying for something new. They wanted something, they were stuck at home all day. And then they hear that Chef Lenny is opening his own Mexican spot. So like, I had like a little cult following that probably was the beginning of my friends. I grew up here, people knew me. And they just supported us.
And then once they figured out that it was actually good food.
Right. They kept coming back.
We'll come back.
Right. And the rest is history. I mean, essentially.
So you were in the back of Western for how many years?
We were there for a year and a couple months.
And then how did the big dream come?
About a year after we knew we needed a space because things started opening again for dine out, right? It was like outdoor dining only. So we knew we needed, now's the time to get a location because we actually have something here, And I was looking at different locations. And the guy had a pizzeria, his name's David, Persian guy, had a pizzeria right on the corner of Pico and Robertson, amazing kitchen. I actually looked at the space before COVID, and I was like, this is a great space. He was like, I want to sell it, and I think you guys are the best. He was, our customer also. He loved our food. I was like, great. So we did it. We took the lease, and we opened right after the 9 days out of our current location, and that was just like. That took us to the next level. Like once that was like on Robertson and Pico, like it was just nuts.
Now, is this when the catering also started as well?
Catering started then as like a drop off, tacos to go kind of thing, platters and things like that.
All right, I'm going to take a step back. So Lenny, in your current location, you are Lenny's Casita. What do you guys serve there? So give us like a background or like give us what do you have there?
So again, the Lenny's Casita developed very gradually into what it is currently. Again, beginning as a ghost kitchen, then we moved locations, then we offered dine-in. Once we started offering dine-in, we started specializing in off-site catering, like platters
all of our parties.
All of our parties, yeah. Yes. I remember, you've ordered a few times, and that's been like amazing. We love it. People love it. We get great feedback. It's all coming out of our location. But the most one day I looked at our casita the way it was, and I was like, we're missing something. We're missing margaritas. We're missing cerveza. We're missing micheladas. We need drinks here. So once again, I called the architect. I'm like, what do I got to do to get a liquor license here? He's like, beer and wine? I'm like, yeah, beer and wine. Or a thing. He's like, well, you need to put a bathroom. So maybe right here, it takes to this part of the kitchen. I'm like, no, I cannot sacrifice an ounce of kitchen space. Like we're maxed out between the shuk on Friday and this.
And that was also another idea that you made, the shuk, which is Friday night takeout. And that's a whole business unto it.
Exactly. So again, we're bringing like all of what I love into this place. Like all of my heart is invested in this place, between my experiences going to the shuk in Israel, which is like my favorite place to be, Mexican food, all together, Mexican people. It's all my loves in one place. And so so I was like, we can't sacrifice any space. He's like, well, I'm so sorry, like you're just not gonna get it then. I was like, no, we need it. And we walk outside, and I told him, I'm like, the truth is that our neighbor that was here for like 30 years just left. And the place is for lease, but they want so much money. He looked at me, he's like, get this place. I promise you, I'm going to develop it for you. It's going to be amazing. You're going to have a bar. Get it. I'm like, okay. He's like, do you know how unlikely it is for your neighbor to move out? Like, that's never happens. I was like, okay, fine. Signed the lease. Last year, a year and a half ago, we did the most insane expansion, construction. We closed throughout this construction and everything. We closed for 1 day just to switch over the kitchen. And I bought, all the stuff that we were doing at charcoal that I missed, the steaks, bone ribeyes, short ribs, all these things, Korean short ribs, I was able to bring back because through the expansion, we built a second kitchen, and I was able to bring back a lot of our favorites from buying this $15,000 Montague broiler. So Fortino's back on the broiler, with the Mexican food, in a new space, with a liquor license.
Which you just got.
We just got
a month ago, a month and a half
ago.
And I'm telling you, this liquor license, listen, Pico was definitely missing the vibe. And every night you drive down Pico and Robertson, you feel like you're in Miami. You feel like you're in Tel Aviv. You feel like you're just in Ibiza. You feel like you're just somewhere. You come out with this big platter of Mexican food for 6 to 8 people, and they come out with the sparklers, and then it's somebody's birthday, and Lenny's there, and he's running around, and these are the most beautiful whiskey sours you've ever seen, and this like where it comes out with this like treasure chest, and the giblet is like purple with this and that. I'm like, dude, unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
So when you had a dream, is the dream happened?
Beyond my wildest dreams, mamish. Beyond my wildest.
So what would you attain the dream to? Like now, this is a serious moment.
Yeah.
What would you attain your dream to? What to give the secret sauce to our viewership? What is it? Is the $1 million question? Is it what drove you?
Is realizing that everything in the entire world is 100% orchestrated and designed and run and brought into existence by Hashem. God controls every part of creation completely, and our mission is to actually nullify our will completely to the will of our Creator, and allow the miracles to take place. Because I saw this happen so many times. When someone's success, they attributed the success to themselves, and that they're so smart, and that they're so awesome, and that they have the best, they can speak the best. Whenever that took place, I saw their failure. Hashem showed me that any success that you have, don't ever think that it's coming from you. It is 100% coming from me. And the more I've nullified my own ego or my own self, or when I've completely submitted to Hashem, the miracles come tenfold. And ultimately, that's what I see at the Casita every single day, because I feel like when the Rebbe gave me that $1, when I received that $1, I was put on shlichus.
Which like your messenger.
I became like my purpose was tied to making incredible kosher food and making people happy, and revealing Hashem's name in this world through this place. That's what I realized. And I still, to this day, make it a point with my staff to let them know, guys, we are here purely because Hashem wanted us to be together, doing this amazing thing together, and the joy, then the privilege that we have to do this every day. Don't ever forget it. Don't ever feel like an ounce of arrogance. We feel humbled, every one of us, me and my staff, humbled that we get to be in a place every day, do what we love, interact with people, see the smiles on their faces. It is the most rewarding thing in the world. And every aspect of this business is tied to that essential point, that we are here to do the will of Hashem in a way of joy, in a way of giving people kosher food, and being a Kiddush Hashem. That's what our purpose is. We want to be a Kiddush Hashem.
Kiddush Hashem means what again?
Means sanctifying God's name in this world. It means that the whole purpose of creation was to reveal the godliness within, and by doing a good deed, by giving tzedakah, by honoring your parents, by being a good father, by being a good husband, you're revealing the essential godliness within creation. And that's essentially what I want to do. And that's why...
So this is a vehicle for you to do a Kiddush Hashem.
Yes. This is the vehicle. All of us have our own vehicle. This show and teller is your vehicle for being a Kiddush Hashem. And everything that we do, and every ability that we have, and the little hush and the little sixth sense of food that I had as a kid, was the vehicle with which Hashem was able to sanctify His name in this world. And that's what essentially we're doing here.
Is your mom proud of you now?
My mom's very proud of me right now.
That you became the chef.
Yeah,
she's all right with it now.
She's loving it. She's loving it. I mean, you know, it's.
She has nachat.
She has so much nachat, and honestly, she to her credit, all those difficult years that we were in New York, and struggling, she was always there to help. And the first gigs, her and her husband were really my first gigs that I had, because every company party he did and all these things, I was like, they always hired me. So like really, like she is, and she was also like, she taught me responsibility. You know, she was like such an incredible lioness for our family that really she gets so much credit for everything that's happened until now. And even till today, my staff are like, do we charge your mom? Because she insists on paying. Like she will not pay. And we just spoke about it this week. Like,
it's your mother.
Yeah, she's amazing. My mom is incredible. And she's very proud of me. And I'm honored. I'm honored that I'm sitting here right now.
You kind of answered it, but what is the favorite part of your job? It's not your job, but what's your favorite?
It's not a job.
That's probably the favorite part. That's not a job.
You're
living.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning excited about life.
Let's assume that I got tomorrow or today even. Why wait? $1 billion check from a great uncle.
That's usually a question I want to ask people. If you got $1 billion check or a huge amount of sum of money, what would you be doing differently in this world?
I'm not kidding you. I tell this to everybody. I would open a Lenny's Casita. I would be there every night, laughing with the people, creating amazing food, making an amazing fish menu for the 9 days. It's exactly...
So what else could you be doing? You're doing it.
That's right. And so that's like the gift. That's the gift. And really, I talk about bitachon a lot. Shar bitachon, especially with Rabbi Ari Ben Shushan. Amazing.
He's the best.
He's the best. It was really cool because I learned the Sefer twice.
So bitachon, for those who don't know, bitachon is to have trust in God. So
yeah.
The shar means gates, the gates of trust, and a big rabbi from in the 1,000 years ago wrote this.
So in this book, it put into words everything I was feeling, all these natural beliefs that I had that Hashem runs the world, but it put it into words. It articulated into a proper sefer, right? That I learned. And I learned it, and it was transformative. And I learned it again, and it was again transformative with a different rabbi. And then I'm like, okay, it's something that you have to learn every day. So I was going to learn it again, but I was thinking to myself, I have such little time, maybe I should learn something else. But someone told me to learn Rabbi Ari Ben Shushan's, learn it with Rabbi Ari Ben Shushan. So I'm like, let me see. I put it in. Within 60 seconds of the first episode,
Change your life.
he goes, "Hey guys, welcome to Rabbi Teller series. I'm so happy you guys are here. Yeah, go ahead, eat food. We got food from Lenny's today."
You're like,
The first year.
again.
Yeah.
Hashkacha.
So I was like, okay, this is...
I gotta listen.
Yeah. And essentially, the purpose of the main purpose of the book is to realize that ultimately all our hishtadlut, all the things that we do, all our efforts ultimately are just a way of giving Hashem plausible deniability for giving you the bracha. The bracha is coming from Hashem no matter what. What you're destined to make is coming to you no matter what. Your hishtadlut is just a necessary component. It's not coming from that, right? That's essentially what the point of the book is. And I've seen this in my own life. And I think about all these people that went into careers or moved places or did all these crazy things trying to make an extra buck. And how lucky I am and how happy I am that I took what I love and did that and spent my days doing that, as opposed to chasing some big billion.
Even though you might still have a tough day. You still have some tough days.
Plenty.
But because you're still following...
The tough days, right? The getting fired... you think it wasn't a tough day when I got fired from Marcus and Millichap? It was extremely tough.
Yeah.
It was a necessary act for me to...
Nisayon.
It's a nisayon. It was
tribulation.
It was a necessary challenge to be able to grow into what I eventually...
To extend your reach.
Well said.
We work out at the gym. Some of us, we tear it down.
There you go.
Our muscles to build up.
Yeah. And that's essentially what I bless everyone. I'm talking. My wife says, "Stop talking about Shari Bitachon because you're getting too much." Like people, like every moment, I'm like Shari Bitachon, Shari Bitachon, Shari Bitachon. She's like, let us learn it for ourselves, But it's a really, this is, if anybody's watching, if you're watching right now, and you are at a crossroads of something that you feel is your purpose and something that you want to do in life, versus something that seems logically more sound or maybe has higher profit margins, okay? Restaurant industry does not have big profit margins. I can tell you that firsthand, okay? Go after what you love doing, because ultimately it's that you're going to be spending your life doing, and Hashem's bracha is going to come regardless. Regardless. You do have to do something. I'm not saying stay home and watch movies, because that's what I love to do too. I love to stay home and watch movies. That was not a successful strategy.
No.
But I knew that I loved cooking. And I could be Gordon Ramsay. I thought in the back of my head, yeah, but it's so unlikely to make money in food. So the restaurants failed, 90% failure rate. You can imagine how many Jews...
You can come up with all the logical steps and then not go after your dream.
There you go.
And that was going to be, I was going to ask you, Lenny, if you can leave us with a closing remark. But you already did it. You just did the closing remark. Because I was going to say, what would you want to tell our audience as a closing thing? And I think what you just said...
That's
just sums it up tremendously, is that at the end of the day, we have to have, things might not always be logical. Things might not always make sense. But if you truly believe that I was given a koach, I was given a strength, I was given a tikkun, I was given a fixing, I was given a purpose in this world, and it's my job to uncover all the shtuyot, all the lies, all the borders, the barriers, and reveal what my koach, what my strength is meant to be, and I'm doing it for the sake of God and bringing God into this world, then He's going to give you that blessing. And I think you epitomized that that's what you did. You could have listened to all the haters, and they could have just said, and you could still, but you know what? You did it. And it's just, I think it's a huge inspiration. It's a huge just momentous thing that we can all just see that, when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are.
Wow. He's good looking and he can sing.
Is that at the end of the day, you can rely on miracles. You can wish upon a star, but you have to put in the work.
Yes.
And that's what you did.
Yes.
So Lenny,
Rabbi.
Toda, Kol HaKavod.
Thank you, man.
Merci.
Thank you.
And Dankeschön and all the other languages Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I look forward to continuously bring people to your establishment so they can share in your simcha and your joy as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Keep
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you.